Okay guys, welcome back to the van. We're just leaving Sand Dunes National Park. We're in Colorado. We've been in Colorado for a few days now, but it's just been such a blur. I don't even know what day it was that we went to the Arches, but that was the last time we talked about going there.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll take it back a little bit. But yeah, what were your thoughts on National Park?
Arches National Park is definitely a sightseeing national park. There were all kinds of rock formations. There were arches that were still intact. There were some fallen arches. But yeah, it's cool. It's sightseeing.
I think that was...
What did you think?
That was last week, last Thursday, the 29th, 30th-ish. I think it was the 29th. I thought it was really nice. It was crazy going from Zion to that.
Yeah.
Because the rocks are similar. They're just different formations, but it felt a lot calmer.
Yeah.
I was scared at first because when we got there, you could see like the road that everybody was like driving up on. It looked really steep, and I was like, oh man, what are we getting ourselves into? But once we got up there, it was fine. It felt like it was pretty flat.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Zion felt a little more crowded. Arches felt more spread out. Like you'd look over here and there'd be one rock formation with a whole bunch of nothing. And then over here, same thing. It was more spread out. Zion, you're just surrounded by rocks the whole time. Like you're driving on a cliff pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, it's a good way to describe it. Oh, and that was the first park that they made us make a reservation for. So we had to use the app. It was a $2 ticket. But the craziest part was that when we got to the window, she said, do you guys have a reservation? We're like, no. She's okay, just turn around, come out of the park and make a reservation. You can use this app. She gave us a QR code, whatever. And then we go to make the reservation. We're thinking we're going to have to kill some time. We're like, okay, let's go check out Moab. And there was literally 50 spots available. So I was like, okay, whatever, it was fine. We just did a quick turnaround, got our ticket, went in. We stayed there for about an hour and a half. That was the park that we did the most like pulling off and walking.
Which one?
Arches.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then from there, we hit the road for Colorado. We stopped in Grand Junction, which I think is like 3-ish hours, 4 hours from Denver. And we got a workout in, took a shower, did our thing. We did a little bit of work at a Chick-fil-A that day. That was last Friday, a week ago.
Oh.
And then after we closed down the Chick-fil-A, we drove straight through to, we were headed towards Boulder. Our goal was to hit Wayne's. We told you guys we wanted to try Wayne's again. And they're only open 2 days a week. And they're one of those places like, once it's sold out, they're sold out. So we're like, okay, let's try and be there on time. We were making good timing. We were like 20 minutes away, but it was like 2 a.m. and we were tired. And we saw an ER sign, 24 hours. We're thinking, okay, cool. Like we can pull off here. It's a 24-hour parking lot, catch a quick nap and hit Wayne's in the morning. So we literally laid down at 2 a.m. and then 6 a.m. comes and we get a knock on the door. And that was, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm startled out of my sleep and I hear a knock and I go to the window. My eyes are still closed. I go to the window and it's this large Persian looking fella who is a security guard for the ER site. And he was super nice. He was like, hey,
we saw you
come in last night.
Gave you a couple hours.
Yeah, gave you a couple hours, but
it's a private
it's
lot.
about to be shift change.
Yeah.
And if you guys are still here by the time there's shift change, I'm gonna get in trouble. So, very nice guy. First he was like, do you have any business here? I was like, no.
So guilty.
Yeah, I was as guilty as fuck. But he was super cool about everything, and we dipped out of there shortly after and drove towards Boulder.
Yeah.
But we hung out at a Target. Jackie went into the Target. I promptly fell back asleep as soon as she left.
Yeah, and then we stayed there until it was time to hit Wayne's. As soon as they opened at 11 o'clock and there was already a full line out the door. It took us like 45 minutes to actually get through once they opened. But it was pretty good. We had a good time there. And I forgot what we did right after that. Oh, I think we went to go work.
Yeah.
So we did some work, and yeah, we just hung out around the area. So the next day was Saturday, and we woke up at a Planet Fitness. We found like the only 24-hour one on the weekend. Usually they're not 24 hours on the weekend. But we did our workout. We did some shopping at Walmart, and that was a hard trip.
What happened at Walmart again?
That was the ghetto Walmart. So I don't know 100% like what's going on. I'm not the best keeping up with world news and stuff, but before getting to Colorado, I had seen a lot of people talking about like the Venezuelan gangs in Aurora, and we weren't too far from Aurora, but the Walmart was like, everything was locked up. Ray was trying to buy a new watch, and that case was locked up. So we asked.
$15 watch.
It's $20, but yeah. And we asked someone to come and open it, and I just don't understand. It bothers me that if you're gonna lock stuff up, you should have someone that's there to open it up for someone who wants to buy stuff. And initially, first we went to the toiletries. I needed to get a razor, and all that was locked up. It had like its own separate section, but that had somebody designated there to scan people and to open the lock, so that was cool. So we're like, okay, we'll come back to that at the end. But then we're waiting for 15 minutes for someone to come open the thing for the watches. And then they had the Tide Pods were like locked up, and they had sensors on them. I'm like, how do you steal Tide Pods? I don't know. I guess it makes sense if they rip the top open. I don't know.
Damn, I gotta do some laundry. Hit a lick real quick.
But yeah, so that was off-putting, that Walmart. That was on Saturday. We decided to do some work out of a Chick-fil-A. And then that evening, we went to a Overlook. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, that was super nice. And then we wanted to hit the Buc-ee's for breakfast the next morning.
Oh, yeah.
Which, to be honest with you guys, I'm not a huge Buc-ee's fan. I think the concept's really cool. We have a good time being inside the Buc-ee's, but the food just doesn't really do it for me. And I was like, okay, let me try Buc-ee's breakfast. Let's see if maybe that'll be my thing. And I wasn't too impressed. What did you think of the breakfast?
I'm not a big breakfast person. I think their barbecue's pretty good, especially for a gas station.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. For a gas station, it's really cleanest bathrooms you'll ever be in. It's a very nice vibe.
So I'm not a big breakfast person, especially like breakfast burritos. Those do not get my juices flowing whatsoever. So I'm like, all right, let me go try this Buc-ee stuff with Jackie, the Buc-ee's breakfast. And I was not impressed, and that's pretty much it. Like what did we try? We tried the brisket with egg.
The eggs themselves are like no seasoning, like they're wet.
Too wet. I hate wet eggs, especially scrambled wet eggs.
Oh my god.
The military did me dirty.
Oh my gosh. That was that. We ended up playing some games. That was like a nice day. We just relaxed, had a good time together. And yeah. So from there, we did some work out of a Culver's, which Culver's is super nice. Their Wi-Fi is really good.
Yeah.
So is Chick-fil-A's. Chick-fil-A is my favorite. It's a staple. But yeah, I ended up indulging in a, what are those called?
Concrete mixer.
Concrete mixers. My go-to is the Reese's Cups and banana. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Mine is the double raspberry. I can't decide between double raspberry and double blackberry.
So you switch?
Can't remember which one is better. Each time I go to Culver's, I'm like, oh, I had this one last time. Was this one better? So I end up switching it every time.
But yeah, then from there, we went to a Barnes & Noble, and that was cool. We're checking out the games.
Yeah.
We ended up getting a game. What is it called?
It's a choose your own adventure game. It's like House of Danger.
Yes, House of Danger.
It's like the choose your own adventure books.
It's Bandersnatch, if you guys have ever seen Bandersnatch. I loved watching Bandersnatch because you could watch it with different people and see like their thought process behind picking different choices, and then the whole concept of like it being a different outcome depending on what you pick. It's pretty cool. So yeah, the game's kind of that.
I had a violin playing monkey sick dogs on me and kill me.
Oh my gosh. It was a long game, but it went by really fast. It was frustrating because we kept losing our psychic ability.
Yeah.
So then we couldn't do a lot of the things. But we ended up, we made it through the game. I think technically we lost, right?
Yeah,
the end.
We lost.
So we'll have to play that again, but we had a good time. And then we pretty much, so that night that we played the game was the night before we went back to Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
So we stayed up until 2 in the morning playing this game. We wanted to be at the Denver airport at 5 a.m., a little bit before because we were trying to get to the Centurion Lounge. We were flying back to Tampa for a concert that we had already had planned with Ray's little brother previously. We went to go see Childish Gambino. But the Centurion Lounge is super nice, our favorite lounge to hit.
That we've been to.
I think I think we go out of our way for that lounge. Super easy to get to with Southwest. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the Centurion Lounge?
We got there at what time?
Like a little after 5.
And then we had to leave at 6:30ish.
So our flight departed at 6:55.
55, okay.
We should mention how we have TSA pre-check.
Oh yeah.
And that allowed us to get in. Man, look at those mountains. That allowed us to get through so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And man, if you guys, maybe I shouldn't say anything, that way more people don't get it. TSA pre-check is so nice. You don't have to take anything out of your bags. You don't have to take anything off of you. Like, you just put your stuff down and go right through. So, yeah, we were able to get through, I don't know, within 10, 15 minutes. But yeah, what were you saying about the Centurion?
So we got all situated. We got some food that they had just put out. They didn't have hot food out yet, but they did have a couple of things. They had this yogurt with peaches and granola. That was good.
Greek yogurt, yeah, it was really good.
And they had this chia seed pudding that had turmeric in it.
I didn't even know it had turmeric in it.
I was like, this is orange. But it had turmeric, and it was mixed in, but it had fruits, it had like blueberries and stuff like that. It had either honey or agave, something to sweeten it up. But that shit was delicious.
It was so good.
That was real good.
Yeah, and then just a bowl of fruit. That was pretty much.
Oh yeah, big bowl of fruit.
The hot food was okay. I had a little bit of it.
There's eggs in there, right?
Yeah, there was eggs.
What was the wetness level of those eggs?
It was more cooked than Buc-ee's.
Okay.
They had this kielbasa, onions mix, whatever, and then like biscuits and garlic potatoes. It was pretty good.
I didn't have any of that.
So Ray was doing some work. I got one of our Mindset Zooms edited and uploaded to YouTube. He actually had a phone call with a business partner who was at 7 a.m. Eastern time. So that was cool. And then I just happened to notice on my phone that our app said that our flight was boarding. So I was like, oh, we should probably get going. But I'm thinking, I don't know why I thought if it said 6:55, you're good until 6:55. But we're like walking towards our gate, and this has been happening to us a couple of times where they're like, last
always
call.
Because of the lounge.
Yeah, we're hanging out in the lounge. We're like, all right, I guess we should make it over to our gate. And then we're walking up, and they're like, last call, boarding for whatever flight number. And so we start like picking up our pace. Okay, we got to get going. I think Ray was feeling full from the breakfast.
And the bag was heavy as shit.
Oh yeah, I didn't have to carry a bag on the way there.
I did.
And the lady was mad at us. She's like, you guys are going to miss your flight. You should hurry up. So then I confirmed with her. I was like, okay, when it says 6:55, when are you guys closing the doors? And she said 10 minutes before. So now I know. But yeah, so that was a close call. Hopefully our last close call. But then, yeah, we flew to Houston was our connecting flight. We had a quick layover and then made our way to Tampa. It was funny because I told Ray, getting back to Tampa, I thought I was going to miss Florida, but it was so rainy. The weather was crap. And like a bunch of people had told me it's been raining a lot lately out there.
And it was Tampa.
Yeah, it just felt overcrowded. Granted, we were going for a concert, so there was a lot of people there, but the rain definitely just didn't help. And then our hotel was yucky too. Like, we've stayed at Courtyard Marriott's fairly frequently, but the one in Tampa, they didn't have any parking there, so we had to pay for valet for Ray's brother. And then our room smelled musty, They called to ask us what they thought of the room, which was nice.
Oh.
And Ray told them it was yucky. They just came up and sprayed something. That was about it. Yeah, that was Tampa. We got into Tampa around 2:30. We got an Uber to the hotel. The Uber missed the exit, got us into traffic, and then I forgot what I was going to say after that.
Then Angel was going to show up here.
Oh, then it started torrential downpouring.
It was disgusting.
And they were like, oh man.
We
and
had
our
planned to walk.
Yeah, we were going to walk.
We were going to walk to the concert.
From the hotel.
It was like a 30-minute walk, or a 23-minute walk or something like that. Oh, this would be a great idea.
It was raining.
It was raining.
It wasn't downpouring when we needed to walk out, which was good. I got in a maybe 30-minute nap, which was crazy. I didn't sleep on the plane, and I probably should have. I ended up doing some work on the plane. And then, I took a little nap. We took showers, got ready. And the walk, it was still cool. The concert itself was a great experience. I thought Childish Gambino was a good performer. We had a good time. He put on a good show. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. The opener was Willow Smith. She did not play Whip Her Hair or Whip My Hair.
Back and forth.
And it was evident that she hates the songs that are popular.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan too much of her rendition of the Caught a Vibe. It was not a vibe, but it was cool. I think I liked the energy that she was putting out of she's doing what she enjoys to do, and she wants to do it the way she wants to enjoy it.
I get that.
And I think she has like a crowd for that. Good for her. She's doing her thing.
The first half of her performance sounded like Dune music.
Funny.
But she could sing though.
Yeah, she has a really nice voice.
The instruments took over her.
That I
her
didn't
voice.
like. That I couldn't hear her sometimes, and a majority of the time I couldn't understand what she was saying. But it did sound nice. But yeah, what is your critique on Childish Gambino?
Childish Gambino show. Overall, it was good. There's a lot of good energy in there. I'm not like a super fan of Childish Gambino. My brother likes him. It was cool going to his first concert with him. The concert itself had a lot of lasers, and they had these things hanging from the ceiling that were either glass or they were lights or something like that. But they reflected images in the middle of the arena, I thought that was pretty cool. He did a magic trick in the middle of his show.
I missed it.
That shit was crazy.
I don't know how I missed it, but he went from one side of the stage to a completely different stage on the other side. And you just see everyone start running towards the other stage. It's funny. But yeah, overall good show, good trip. We leave the next day, and here we are.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, we got to check out a house for one of our friends. That was cool. The house had
fruit trees. Delicious.
Yeah, Ray had a couple of fruits.
A couple of them fell off of the branches.
But yeah, I got to take some pictures, some video, and then we drove out to Pueblo, which is 2 hours outside of Sand Dunes National Park. We got some Chipotle for dinner, and we watched Meet the Parents.
Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah. We were trying to watch that movie on the plane, but the plane was having Wi-Fi issues on the way back. But overall, cool trip. Where we're headed to next?
So we just hit Great Sand Dunes National Park.
Yeah, first, what'd you think of that?
I thought it was cool. So Zion is more of Arches is more of a sightseeing national park.
So is Zion.
Zion is as well. Great Sand Dunes is more of an activity national park. The sand dunes are crazy looking, but the activity that you do is the sandboarding, or you can get a sled and slide down the sand dunes. Those things are huge, and they look huge from far away. Once you get to one peak, you're like, oh, I've been walking for 25 minutes. What's the view like? And it's, I'm a foot off the ground. But during the
I like these
closer to summer months, there's water there that you can swim in. But
they had a campground in there.
And they have a campground. I would definitely come back with a sled.
And we didn't have one this time.
Yeah, and then the campgrounds there, apparently Great Sand Dune National Park is one of the spots where it's the darkest at night.
Yeah.
So you see the stars. That's something that I definitely want to do in the future. What did you think?
Yeah, no, it would definitely be cool to try the sledding out. It looked pretty steep, some of those hills.
Old people were eating shit at the bottom.
Yeah, so it was cool. People had their dogs there.
Mhm.
It was chilly when we first got there, and it was quickly starting to heat up. I think the highest it got was like 67 while we were out there, degrees.
Really?
I
The
think,
sand was eating up the heat from the sun, though.
yeah,
It started getting warmer and warmer the more that we walked.
yeah. But overall, I agree. I think we'd have to come back to experience the actual sledding part of it, but that was fun. And then, yeah, now we're headed back north. We're planning to hit Rocky Mountains National Park. So looking forward to that. It's been a good trip. Colorado, when we left, it was getting into the 90s during the day. It would still feel fairly cool at night. They get pretty low at night. I don't know if that's throughout the whole summer, but it would get like in the 70s, almost high 60s. And when we got back from Tampa, it was like, I think yesterday the high was 75 or something. So
Yeah.
it definitely cooled off a lot in a day. But I think winter's coming out here for sure. But it was cool meeting up with Ray's brother Angel. He definitely did us a solid. We got to pick up some of our jackets, our comfies, a blanket. So yeah, we're prepared now for the cold. So looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Me too.